Can you guys believe that it is almost time for our second to last TBR of the year? Because I certainly can't. I am filming this just a little bit early because during the last week of October, first little bit of November, I'm going to be at Lexi's house. We are all going to be meeting and hanging out there, and I am so excited to see my friends again. It feels like far too long since I've seen them, even though it really wasn't that long ago. And we're going to be going and spending some time in New York City. I'm going to be going to the Sabrina Carpenter concert, so your girl's going to be busy, so we're filming this now. But I am just like so ready for some of the amazing new releases that are coming out in November. It is stacked, not gonna lie to you. But in order to make my TBR, I play at TBR Bluff pretty much every single month. This is my TBR board game where I will roll the dice and find a corresponding prompt on the board. If I can't, I have to add an extra roll and use the spinner wheel of sadness in order to pick my books. Once I find the prompt, I cover it up. Once I get 5 in a row, I can clear the board. So I think the board is looking a little scary at the moment. Just kind of glancing at it, it looks real scary. So wish me luck that this turns out okay, because it could be very, very bad. I do have a couple of book clubs and buddy reads that I'm going to be reading in the month of November, but if I don't get to those, we'll talk about them at the end. So let's just see what our very first roll is going to be. So this is what the board looks like as of starting November. Not terrible. We've got some good spots on the board that we can start trying to clear this thing, but let's just see what the first roll gives us. 3 6s, a 3, and a 2. So I don't think 3 6s on the board, but 2 6s is. And then we have a lot of like 2 6s and 2 of something else. Video project could be good as well. So what I think I'm gonna do is re-roll these two and see what we get. Okay, so 2 6s and 2 3s or a full house. 2 6s and 2 3s is a Kindle Unlimited. I think I want to save my full house because there's technically more options for that. So we're going to go with a KU book. You may see some repeats on this TBR because there are so many books that I've like been meaning to get to and just have not done yet. And for our first roll, we got KU, and I know for sure that I put this on one TBR before, but like I'm determined to read it this time because she has come out with some beautiful special editions for a Kickstarter that have like all of her hand-drawn artwork on them. I can't get over how cool that is. So I definitely want to get to this, read it so that I can see if I want that. And that is Of Flames and Fallacies by Courtney Wims. This is a dragon book where they find a dragon egg and she has to take it to a place that will protect it. I know that there is a baby dragon in this, and that's really honestly all I need to know about it. It is an enemies to lovers romantasy, I believe. I've heard such incredible things about it. The sequel just came out and the third book is coming out not long from now, so it's the perfect time to jump into it. It's time that I get the like push that I need to finally pick it up. More 6s, 2 6s and 2 1s. I think this has already been used. I want to say, is that a pet pick? No, it's a backlist, but we've already used that. So 2 6s, 2 1s, and a 2. Oh, pet pick's still on there. Do I keep the 1s or do I keep the 6s? The 1s would probably help me clear the board faster, but I like the 6 prompts a lot better. And we can have like a special edition regardless. Like we got that no matter what. So I think I'm gonna re-roll these 2. Or maybe these 3. Yeah. Two 6s and 2 4s is a book club or a read along. Okay, that works. Then we got a book club or read-along book, and for this one, I'm not 100% sure what like my final choice is going to be. We have my buddy read that I do over on my Patreon. I actually just put up the poll prior to filming this because I forgot that I needed to do it. And then we also have the Indie Archive Book Club, which is the one that Cassie and I run over on our Patreons. We do a book every single month that we all read together, and it's honestly so much fun. So one of them will go in here. The Indie Archive has not been decided yet. We are running a poll for it as well. So I will let you guys know at the end what that ends up being. But right now, my buddy read poll looks like it's going to pull pretty clearly with To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. This is another like kind of Silver Elite style book where it is a romantasy with a dystopian feel to it. And I know that our main character is in a prison and she has to, I think, complete some trials in order to make it out. I've heard really good things about this book. It sounds like something that I would absolutely love. I've been looking for more like dystopian romance books since Silver Elite came out because I've just been dying to read more of that, and hopefully this will scratch that itch, and I'm really, really excited for it. It had kind of a weird release date, but I think the KU book and the audiobook are already out. I will be getting a copy of it in November, but I think the like physical book release is not until March. 2 3s, a 2, a 1, and a 5. 2 3s. Reverse page count, romantasy, or friend fave. So we're definitely going to keep the 2 3s. Reverse page count has a 1. So I guess we'll keep the 1 as well and try these two. That's 3 3s. That's scary. That's scary. Okay, okay, okay. Oh no! Well, that is not on the board. We don't have 3 3s. We've already used my free space. So, you know what that means. The spinner wheel of sadness. We got a spinner wheel, which is big sad. It means that now instead of doing 6 rolls because I didn't complete my TBR, normally I do 5, and then if I don't complete my TBR, I do 6. And then if we get a spinner wheel, we have to add a roll. So now we're at 7 rolls. I actually pre-spun these because I couldn't decide what books I wanted to go on there. And honestly, I'm not really sure where my spinner wheel is. So this is the spin that I got, and it gave us A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the second and final book in a duology that is a Viking inspired from her. I really enjoyed book 1, but then a lot of my friends that also enjoyed book 1 read this one and didn't like it. So it made me very, very hesitant to pick it up, and I really, really need a push to pick it up. My spinner wheel usually has like 5 books that I need a push to read and 5 books that I'm really excited to read. So it just happened to land on one of the ones that I needed a push to read, which is good because otherwise I might never pick this up, and I need to do it while A Fate Inked in Bone is still relatively fresh in my mind. But this is following a girl that lives in a Viking era, and she gets taken by Vikings and promised to be like leader of the clan because she is like the descendant of a very particular god, but she ends up falling for his son instead. So it is a little bit of a forbidden type romance. I liked the action and the like atmosphere of book 1 a lot, so I'm just hoping that this one doesn't let me down. Now we're on 4 out of 7? Yeah. 2 5s, a 3, a 4, and a 6. So 5s is going to be up kind of in this corner plus a horror spot. We mostly have nothing that will help us along with the 5s, so I'm going to keep those 2 and re-roll these 3. Okay, so there's 3 5s. Okay, okay. A 3 would get us nothing, but a 2 could be a pole pick, or we'll get chunky. But do I risk just rolling the 1? Because that feels very scary. Chunky is scary too, so I think I'm going to re-roll 1 of the 6s and keep the 2. Okay, 2 5s and 2 6s. That is on the board. Whew, thank goodness. We also got a book that is new to my TBR, and I know for a fact that I have this pre-ordered. It is allowed because I have this pre-ordered, because you might be like, Mel, you haven't read it yet. No, I haven't. And that is Brimstone by Callie Hart. I am so excited for this book. You don't even understand. Like November, I wanted to take the whole month off because there are 2 books coming out. You know what you know what they are, but 2 books coming out that I am like beyond excited to finally get to read. This one comes out on November 18th, which I did take off work so that I could read it hopefully all in one go, and I literally cannot wait. It is the sequel to Quicksilver, which came out I think last year. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, but I was completely obsessed with it. It's about a girl who's living kind of in the slums, and she ends up stealing a piece of armor from a soldier, and somehow ends up in a different world of fairy, and finds that she can talk to essentially Quicksilver, which is like this metal thing that all of the fairies need to travel beyond worlds. And that is just such the bare basic plot. There she meets Kingfisher. He doesn't want to train her. He doesn't want anything to do with her, and just their relationship. Oh my god, it was so good. The twists and turns, the side characters, incredible. Loved every second of it. So I am thrilled that it is Brimstone month. I think this is 5 of 7. 2 4s, a 3, a 6, and a 5. So 4s, we have a lot of options on the board, so we'll definitely keep those. As a matter of fact, no matter what, we get a skip. And you know, I think we're gonna just utilize that because this TBR is looking very chunky already. We also got a skip, and I'm kind of glad that we got a skip because this TBR is already shaking up to be a lot of books. So I'm going to utilize my skip for I normally skip the skip because I want books on my TBR, but we don't have that problem this month. So we're going to utilize the skip. Okay, what would have been our last roll for not finishing the TBR, but I still have, unfortunately, one extra roll to do. Two 4s, two 6s. This is not on the board anymore, is it? No, but two 6s is, so we're definitely keeping those. Okay, let's re-roll these 3 and see what we get. How long is that gonna go for? Okay. 3 6s, a 2, and a 5. Again, not very helpful, honestly. The 2 could be fun because it's a pet pick, but I think I'm gonna re-roll the 6 and the 5. This feels less scary with special edition sitting there. That was a 2 before, but whatever. Okay, so we're going to be going with a special edition. We also got a special edition, and this one is a little bit of a stretch because I will be getting the special edition for this whether I earn it or have to spin the wheel for it. It will be happening, and that is Strength of the Few by James Islington. I plan to get the Broken Binding edition to match my original Broken Binding edition of The Will of the Many. This was my favorite book of the year I read it. Like, hands down, one of my favorite books that I have ever read. I can't even tell you how incredible this book is. It's so hard for me to tell you what the plot is as well, but basically we have a guy with a hidden identity. He ends up getting taken to this school and working to like solve a murder, essentially, but in this world you are basically required to give your strength to others so that they can like move up the hierarchy, essentially, and he doesn't want to do that, but if he graduates from the school he says that he will, but he has an ulterior motive of his own. That is just like the most bare bones plot description of that book ever, but trust me, it is incredible. If you haven't read it yet, what are you doing? You need to read it. It's absolutely amazing, and the sequel comes out on November 11th. So even though at the time of reading this I probably won't have the special edition in my hand, it will have been ordered, so we're gonna count it toward this prompt and it will be going on my shelves. This board looks awful. Two 3s, a 2, a 1, and a 6. 3s are not my friend. Okay, I would love to get reverse page count because that would get us closer to clearing the board. We could go this way or this way. Romantasy would also be helpful for clearing the board, but Friend Fave would not. So we're gonna keep 2 of the 2 3s. And then do I keep the 1 or do I just up my chances? I think I keep the 1. What the heck? No! No! This board hates me. Okay, that is another spin and another roll. Moving on, we also got another spinner wheel, and for this one it ended up giving me Tempest of Wrath and Vengeance, which is the 3rd book in the Reign of Shadow and Endings series by Melissa K. Rarick. This book is one that I wanted to read. We were kind of hoping to get to this in October, but it just ended up not happening because I will be buddy reading this with Cassidy and Lexi. Lexi still needs to read book 2, so as soon as she does that, I think we all do plan to read this one together. This is on my November tentatively with the thought process that we will be getting to it, but if we don't, I'm not going to count this one against me because we want to read it together, and so I will definitely be waiting on them. Reign of Shadow and Endings is a dark romantasy that is set in the same world as Lady of Darkness, but it's following the Fae who are bonded to legacies in order to give the legacies more power. Essentially, it's like the future or a different world of Lady of Darkness, kind of like a portal world, and we have a girl that doesn't think she's going to be chosen and unfortunately is surprised and gets chosen to be the power source of one of the scariest legacies. And there is like an overthrow plot happening. He is trying to protect her but not doing a very good job. She doesn't want to be there. It's very interesting but also can be a tough read, so definitely check your triggers. spoilers before going into it, but it's so different. Book 1 was great, book 2 was great. I anticipate book 3 being incredible as well. Two 4s and 2 6s is not on the board anymore. Do I keep 4s or do I keep 6s? 4 is helpful if I get Romantasy. A 6 is helpful if I get Pet Picker Video Project. I feel like there's more options for the 6s. So we'll do this and maybe this, and I keep not getting Pet Pick even though I keep trying. 2 6s and 2 1s. Not helpful. Wait, no, not helpful. Okay. Give me a 2. Give me a 2! Ah! Okay, Pet Pick. And our very last prompt was a Pet Pick, and I gave Ollie 3 different options, a couple of sequels plus a book that I've been really excited to read. I just kind of randomly picked a few things that I knew that I was interested in picking up to give to him. So let me insert the clip here of what he chose. Okay, we're gonna get this little booger to help us choose a book. He is waiting very patiently. We have a couple of different options. I put him in the living room this time. We're gonna see how this goes. The first one is Things Gods Break, which is the sequel to Games Gods Play. Then we have Fallen Stars, which is the sequel to Heavenly Bodies. And then we also have, excuse you, not yet, Air of Illusion, which is a new romantasy that I just got an arc of, but have been so excited about. Okay, Wilder's going to help. Bryn also wants to help. Ollie, come on, choose a book. Okay, Things Gods Break it is, as Wilder eats his other treat. Sorry, Ollie. So he went with Things Gods Break by Abigail Owen. This is the sequel to The Games Gods Play, which was so much fun. When I read it last year, it was such a quick moving, interesting trials book, and I'm very excited to get to the sequel. It also comes out, I think, at the very end of October, so I will have it moving into November. This was on last month's TBR, but because of the way October kind of worked out, I wasn't able to get to it, so we're going to be moving it over into this month. So that is everything that is currently on my TBR. I don't know as of the exact moment of filming this what the Indie Archive book will be, so I will leave the likely thing that it will be up on the screen, but the poll will run until toward the end of the month. I anticipate it being one of the sequels, but we'll see what it ends up being. I'm very, very excited for whatever they choose. It's going to be a great month. The board was scary. We ended up with 8 rolls, which was a lot more than I wanted it to be. 7 if you count the skip, so I guess I got a little bit lucky with the skip, but like this board, y'all, look at that. Look at how many sticky notes are on this. And we still have, at bare minimum, 2 books, 2 prompts in order for me to clear this. So December's gonna be a time. December's gonna have a lot of rolls on it, I can already tell. One last thing before we go though, I wanted to mention to you guys the Dungeons and Book Dragons Readathon, which is created by Ivy Wendy Martinez. I will be loosely participating in this month. It is a Dungeons and Dragons inspired readathon. This sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I will be joining Team Rogues with Monica from On Monica's Shelves, as well as Nat from Nerdy Nat Reads. Our trait, the thing that will get us bonus points, is to read books that have a morally gray main character or love interest, heist, thieves, or rebels. There are a lot of books that are already on my TBR that will count for that. I think it would be a fun time, and I definitely wanted to mention it to you guys since I do plan to participate. And all of the information for that is going to be down in the description box in case you guys want to check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out. I would love to know what is on your November TBR. What are you scrambling to read before the end of the year? Because I feel like that's where I am right now. I have so many things that I wanted to read throughout the year that I haven't gotten to yet. So many things I'm like, but what if I should save them to be my first read of the year? We're in that kind of limbo time frame where I feel like I need to get things done, but also I have just too many things I want to read all at the same time. So if you relate to that, let me know what your priority read of November is, or if you're planning to read any of the things that I am reading. As always, thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one.